Selen Erkal is an architect. She graduated from UAV University in Venice. She has been studying in Venice since 2007 to 2012. Correct me if I am giving misinformation.
Correct.
And then came back to Turkey, I believe. And starting from 2013, she started to work for İKSV, which is the Istanbul Foundation for Culture and Arts. And her position at the foundation is very relevant in relation to the focus of our studio course this semester, because Selen is the project and exhibition coordinator of the Pavilion of Turkey at Venice Arte and Architettura, Venice Biennale Arte e Architettura. So, as I said, an insider, and very well aware of whatever happened starting from mostly from 2014, I believe. So with the beginning of with the first actually official Pavilion of Turkey at Venice Biennale. So, I mean, our invitation was necessary. Selen's participation was not mandatory, but she kindly accepted.
So hello everyone again. This is Selen Erkal, and I'm very happy to be here with you today. And thank you so much to Sergio and the team for the invitation. So today I will talk about briefly about the history of the participation, country participation of Turkey in the biennial, and a little bit about the biennial venues, and as a conclusion, I will talk about the previous exhibitions and the upcoming one. So I will share here my screen. Please tell me if you can see it.
All good, perfect.
Okay, perfect. So I don't know in your previous courses how much detailed you talk about the biennial. I will not get into the details, but I excuse if I repeat
absolutely
some
information. Not. Repeating is in this case very, very, very important. Actually. We are at the very beginning, so it's better to refresh information all the time.
Perfect. So, La Biennale di Venezia has been one of the most prestigious cultural institutions in the world for over a century. Established in 1895, the first architecture biennial held on 1980, and Turkey participated in the International Art Exhibition for the first time in 1991 with the personal efforts of Beral Madra and with contribution of Turkey's Ministry of Culture and Tourism. Beral Madra was the curator and the commissioner of the exhibition between 1991 and 2001. In 2003, the Pavilion of Turkey was initiated with a temporary exhibition space rented with the support of Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Turkey. Here you can see the list of the very first exhibitions. Since 2017, the Pavilion of Turkey has been organized by the Istanbul Foundation for Culture and Arts, and the artists and the curators of the pavilion are proposed by the advisory board that changes every 2 years. In 2014, on the initiation of the foundation, İKSV, and with the support of 21 sponsors, Turkey obtained a long-term venue in Arsenale for 20 years. So until 2034, the pavilion is located in Arsenale, which is one of the two main exhibition venue. And this allotment allowed the Pavilion of Turkey to take part in the International Architecture Exhibition for the first time in 2014. So I would like to briefly talk about the exhibition spaces. Arsenale and Giardini are situated in the east side of the city. And here is a close-up map that you can see these two venues are actually not a single building, but let's say a complex. Between two venues here, there are approximately 10 minutes of walking distance. There are like two roads that we can choose to go one from the other. And here are some images from these two routes. Giardini della Biennale, it has been used as the exhibition space by La Biennale since the beginning, the first international art exhibition. This venue consists of buildings in a large garden. Actually, Giardini della Biennale means Garden of the Biennial. Apart from the, it's interesting, I think that it's one of the biggest green area, maybe only big green area in Venice that they have. As I mentioned, there are different buildings in this big garden. Apart from the main exhibition building, there are a total of 29, if I'm not wrong, country pavilions, such as France, Germany, England, Finland, Russia, Japan, and so on. These pavilions were designed by famous architects of its period. So it's also a kind of architectural exhibition, also if you see only the buildings. In the other venue, Arsenale, has been used by La Biennale since 1980 as the second main venue. It's a former shipyard area where the boats, ships were constructed and has been restored to be converted to an exhibition space. It's only a part of Arsenale here, you see. Once we enter from here, it's a small street. Once you enter, you first start with the Corderia building, where the main exhibition takes place. It's a long, continuous L-shaped building, and after Corderia, it starts Artiglierie, building with national participations. So different country pavilions, and these two are single-stored buildings. These are some images from inside of the buildings. Okay, and it's the rest of the almost the rest of Arsenale. The artillery building continues, and with there are different spaces, both for main exhibition and country pavilions. Sale Darmi, where the Pavilion of Turkey is situated, is just in front of, in between Artillerie and Corderie. And it's a two-floor building. On the ground floor, you see the images from of the same building from different point of view, because it's difficult to photograph actually. So on the ground floor, there are Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, and United Arab Emirates pavilions. And like the Pavilion of Turkey, they have their own permanent space. On the first floor, Peru, Turkey, Singapore, and Luxembourg pavilions are taking place. The building has 3 entrances. One is with this escalator, the main entrance, and other 2 entrances, one from the north and one from the south facade. And here is the plan of the first floor, where the Turkey pavilion is situated. This is the main entrance with the escalator, and when we arrive to the first floor, we have Peru pavilion, and especially for the art biennials, actually, South Africa here, they share the same room divided in 2, not with a wall. And when you across this room, you arrive to the Pavilion of Turkey, and we use all the space. It's a kind of long, large corridor, you can imagine. And a characteristic of the pavilion is there are 3 identical windows on both sides, and on the shorter facades, and on the long walls in the middle, we have these 2 doors that give access to the other pavilions for the circulation of the visitors. And normally La Biennale asks us to keep empty possible the access in the middle for also emergency reasons. So we have to always think these kind of limitations that the space itself bring. For example, maybe you talked about it already, but it's a historical building. So we cannot drill, hang anything on the wall. We can use the wooden trusses here, not drilling, obviously, but with clamps, with the protection rubber, etc., to hang something. And specific points of the wooden trusses, for example, this carry really less weights, like 30 kilograms, etc. But the diagonal ones is more strong, and we hang lots of things there. So we cannot drill on the ground. On the sides, you see my mouse, right? I sometimes
yes,
lose
we
it,
do.
but
We do.
okay. Here on the sides, we have the air conditioning that we cannot build anything on it or put anything on it. And the main electricity cable channel on the sides. So we have to think always where to place the main electrical equipments based on the positions of these channels. So some more photos here. There are like images that I took after this installation or before. While I was preparing this presentation, I thought I had really difficulty to find empty image of the pavilion, because the exhibition take place slightly more than 6 months, and we have almost 2 months of preparations before it for the installation, and let's say approximately 1 other month after the exhibition for the dismantling. And it makes like 9 months that the exhibition space is occupied with an installation. Also the Arsenal Avenue itself. I will start with the first appearance in the Architectural Biennial of the Pavilion of Turkey. It was in 2014. The exhibition entitled Places of Memory uses subjectivity as the starting point. Places of Memory, the exhibition explores how an individual relates to a city through the daily exchanges with the built environment. The exhibition brings together a group of artists and architects from Turkey to reflect the subjective views of urbanism and the place itself. I know that Metehan Özcan, one of the participants, you will have as a guest in one of the next seminars. So I will talk about shortly, and I know that I'm sure Metehan Özcan will give detailed information about the exhibition. So the exhibition was curated by Murat Tabanlıoğlu and coordinated by Pelin Derviş. Participants Ali Taptık, Alper Derinboğaz, Candaş Şişman, Metehan Özcan, and Serkan Taycan. They are artists, architects, and they spent months exploring and documenting their own relationship to Istanbul, to the city. 3 areas of the city was selected by the curator and the coordinator. These areas are Taksim, Karaköy, Babali, Sirkeci, and Büyükdere. These spaces are examined through different scales and different media, as photography, video, digital mapping, and sound. The result is a personal narration of what Istanbul means to the people who lives there. In 2015, a short and important information that I didn't give. Biennials are taking place once in a 2 years. So in the pavilion, for this reason, in the pavilion we have 1 year architecture biennial and the next one art biennials. And only this year, because of the pandemic, last year, because of pandemic, the architecture biennial postponed. So we didn't, the years actually shifted because of this. In 2015, in the Pavilion of Turkey, the exhibition by the artist Sarkis took place, titled Respiro. It presents an installation of mirrors, stained glass pens, and site-specific neon works. Through the arrangement of objects, images, and thoughts released from the personal and collective memories, Sarkis used the pavilion as a theatrical stage for a select cast of his works to investigate the idea of infinite dialogue and transformation that are the core of his works. And here another image. So for example, these speakers and all the stained glass panes are hanged from the beams. We construct an additional metal beam that was fixed to the trusses, and we hanged everything from these beams. And Respiro was complemented by a composition of Jacopo Bobonis Kilimci, a composer, based on the Sarkis drawings of the rainbow's 7 colors, and he used these drawings as a system of partition to compose the sound. So I found a video of this exhibition that I want to share with you, so you can have a real feeling of the space, because it's difficult to understand the space without being there and looking only to the images. So I will change the screen and go to YouTube. Hope it helped you to have the feeling. So the next year, in 2016, a project curated by Feride Çiçekoğlu, Mehmet Kütükçüoğlu, and Ertuğ Uçar took place in the Pavilion of Turkey. The project called Darzana was about frontiers and hybridity. It exchanged the increasing confinement between borders of religion, language, race, nationality, ethnicity, and gender. The project highlights the common cultural and architectural heritage shared between the Arsenale of Istanbul and Venice. For the architecture biennial, a lost vessel called Baştarda was constructed out of abundant materials found in an old dockyards of Istanbul and transported to Venice to suggest a new connection in Mediterranean. Despite their very different identities and populations today, actually Venice and Istanbul once both featured considerable dockyards of similar size and production. The common core of these dockyards was the ship sheds. Ship sheds are, for example, the Pavilion of Turkey, it's a ship shed of the Arsenale, of its building. And the Shipsheds is the building block of a shared architectural heritage. Its proportions grow out of the dimension of the boats and of common building technologies. And Darzana links a shipshed of Istanbul with a shipshed of Venice by a vessel. And for the project, Baştarda was built firstly at an abandoned shipshed of at Haliç Dockyard in Istanbul, and then transport to Venice. I will go back to this video, and here we can see how these abundant materials were found in Istanbul. It's a short time lapse shot during the preparations in Istanbul, and the next one will be during the installation in Venice. In Istanbul, Baştarda was constructed under a reproduction of the wooden trusses as the Pavilion of Turkey. Baştarda was 30 meter long and weighing 4 tons. The vessel was built from more than 500 pieces, including 7 kilometers of steel cable. And here we are in the Pavilion of Turkey. And as you can see, the shipshed that was built in Istanbul, the Baştarda was built in, it's very similar. The dimensions are slightly different. So here is during the installation. It took approximately 3 weeks. It's a short video because it's a time lapse, but it took quite. And these abundant materials were found in Istanbul. They are like wooden molds, furniture, signboards, and boat pieces of boats. In April, all these components of Baştarda were shipped to Venice and was rebuilt for the opening in May in Pavilion of Turkey. It's approximately finishes here. It's the final result was here, and all these pieces were hanged from the ceiling. We produced a grid system, metal grid system, and hanged to the strong diagonal trusses. And then with the steel cables, each piece took their places. In 2017, in the Art Biennial, there was an exhibition by the artist Cevdet Erek called Çın. It's a site-specific installation, and Çın uses architecture and sound to explore poetic and political imaginations. It was planned to continue to evolve during the course of the biennial, and its form was never finalized. There's a video shot by Ali Taptık, shot during the exhibition as from the point of view of a visitor. So I would like to show you this video. We will go again to YouTube. Since it was a big installation, going through the exhibition and doing the paths inside it was very important, and the best way is seeing it through the eyes of a visitor. I think we can stop here. I will continue with the 16th International Architecture Exhibition. Vardia, the exhibition curated by Kerem Piker, is a program of public events that aim to transform the Pavilion of Turkey into a staging ground for collaborative production and cultural exchanges across borders. The project started with an open call to the architecture students around the world. The exhibition in the venue started with a multimedia installation that you can see here. And through these, the visitors was informed about the forthcoming activities and the workshop teams. International architecture students visited the Pavilion of Turkey in weekly shifts as the active producers of the evolving exhibition content. The program was composed by different workshops, digital roundtable discussions, and keynote lectures. There is a video of the introduction, let's say, but now I have, I'm not sure if it will create any problems. And this, let's try.
Welcome to Vardia, in the Pavilion of Turkey. Vardia is a spatial and temporal staging ground, carrying out a program full of public events in an open space to meet.
So the next one was in 2019, the exhibition called We Elsewhere. It's an installation by the artist İnce Eviner. We Elsewhere, designed as an architectural installation, is an investigation into the space that we create and the space that are created for us as a result of collective displacement and how subjects react and interact with these. Reconfigured objects and the characters crafted by İnce Eviner evoke the sense of a research for the missing and the erased, which is in the elsewhere. The architectural installation create different kind of spaces in the pavilion, and a path through these objects, sculptures, drawings, and complete with a video and sound installation. So these were the past. And the next, this year, actually, the Architecture Biennial was supposed to be in 2020. Because of the pandemic, it was postponed and will take place this year and in May. The exhibition is curated by Neyran Turan, entitled Architecture as Measure. By focusing on the relationship between the quotidian and the planetary, architecture as measure suggests another route for architecture's relationship to the world. In light of current climate crisis, what can architecture contribute towards a new planetary imagination of our contemporary environment beyond ecology and technological determinism? Rather than limiting the role of design simply to a solution to the problem of the climate change, can we speculate on architecture as a measure through which the environment might be reimagined? Architecture as a measure positions climate change as a cultural and political idea that requires a renewed architectural environmental imaginations. Now I can show you only the preparation renders and drawings, and hopefully after May we will be able to see it already installed. The Pavilion of Turkey focuses on the politics and the nuances of the aspects and sides of the architectural construction in Turkey and beyond. The exhibition composes by an installation, a website, and storytelling. The installation consists of 4 dioramas, each focusing on specific side of architecture, as the material abstraction to supply chain, maintenance, and care. In addition to the installation, the exhibition extends to a website as the main publication platform, and it's already released, the website, a few months ago. The website presented through 4 sections: paperwork, episodes, conversation, and essays. And in the website, will be publishing content by invited contributors and also by the curatorial team during the year. Lastly, so I will show you the last video. It's a sneak peek video that we prepared as a call by La Biennale. It's about the exhibition, which gives a general idea. So we arrived to the end.